What's up, YouTube? Guy in the camo hat here. Got another video for you. You may have noticed a change in the scenery from my previous videos. That is because I'm home on spring break and I'm down in my basement and it's pretty freaking cold. But yeah, I just got back from Bataan last night, the Bataan Memorial Death March that I've been telling you all so much about. The reason that I'm making this video is to tell you all about my trip. So let's pack a dip. First things first. Well, there's not even, that might be a pinch. It's like a baby pinch, maybe, so we'll do some long leaf chew. I know this is in an unmarked baggie. That's because I got it from my school, the pipe shop at my school. And this is actually Stoker's Vanilla long leaf. And I got this special for the Ruck March. It was a little treat to myself. I really do like long leaf chew. So syrupy. Anyway, where to start? I guess I can start at the beginning. We left last Thursday, which was the 14th? Yeah, the 14th. We left in the afternoon. Well, first off, I'm gonna edit the shit out of this video, but anyway. Bataan, for those who don't know, is down in at the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. And my school is in Champaign-Urbana in Illinois, and we were driving. That's a 2-day drive. So the first day, get in the van, drive through Missouri. Stopped in Missouri a couple times for gas, and I picked up a can of Copenhagen Extra Long Cut Natural, which I will be doing a review about sometime in the future. Hopefully I can meet up with one of my buddies over spring break and we can do it together. Get some good footage. This is really juicy. And then from there, we went into Oklahoma. Spent the night in Tulsa. It was actually a really nice hotel, or motel. It was a motel, but it was like a 2-story thing. It was kind of weird, but it was nice. And then that Friday, we drove through the rest of Oklahoma, through Texas, and then into New Mexico, where we got a hotel in Alamogordo, which is about 40 minutes away from Bataan. And we just kind of went around the town that night, explore a little bit, see what was up. And then the next day, that Saturday, we had registration, where we went in and we signed up, or we got all our stuff, our information packets, our bibs. There was the souvenir shop, all that cool shit. And then from there we went to the White Sands National Park, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. But that was really fun. It's just basically a shit ton of sand dunes that are all over this place. And the sand's like really white, and of course you're out in the middle of the desert, so it was pretty hot because it's just white sand with the desert sun beating down on you. But it was a lot of fun. We went sledding down the sand dunes, and took a bunch of pictures of the group. We got back, we went back to the base. Shit. Dog's barking. We got back to the base. We walked around for a little bit. They had some of the surviving veterans from the actual Bataan March there who were speaking, but unfortunately there were only 3 there, and there were so many people that we never had a chance to go in and listen to them speak. So we walked around, explored the base a little bit. We went and looked at the there was an engineering battalion that was stationed there, and we went and looked in the motor pool and got to see a whole bunch of vehicles and stuff like that. And then that night there was a all-you-can-eat pasta buffet, where everyone just kind of carbo loaded for the ruck the next day. So that was kind of neat, kind of fun, whatever you want to call it. It was good pasta. It was pretty good pasta. Better than the dorm pasta, although that's not saying much, but still. So from there, went back to the hotel. Got about 4 hours of sleep. Woke up at 3 in the morning. Got all our stuff together. Ate breakfast. Got loaded into the van. Headed back to the base. Got there, I want to say about 5 o'clock. And then the opening ceremony started around 6. And then the march started. And it was pretty cool. The 3 survivors that were there, they were all lined up right at the starting line, or before the starting line. So if you wanted, you could shake their hands before you stepped off and started the race, or march, ruck, marathon, whatever you want to call it. So I did that, and then we started. It was really pretty uneventful up to about mile 7. About mile 6 or 7, I started to feel it, a little bit in my ankle. My ankle was a little tight. I'm not sure what I did to it, but it had been hurting for about a week and a half before that. Started hurting, started slowing down a little bit. We were going through sand at that time. Around mile 9, I got a second wind, kind of picked up again, started going, got motivated. Luckily that lasted until about mile 17 or so. That's when I started feeling my body slow down again. Started trudging, although at that point in time, that was part of the march where you loop around a mountain. The trail loops around a mountain, so it's got a lot of going back and forth and really hilly and stuff like that. So I was starting to get worn out there, and then by mile 20 I was just hurting. What did I do? I stopped and I rested for about a half hour, stretched out, ate a little bit, refilled my water, popped some more pain pills, and kept trudging. I'd say about mile 22. Mile 22 is I was just dead. Mile 22 in the race is it's called the sand pit. It's the majority of the race is either paved road or it's like packed sand. Like they plow it with like a grader or a plow or something, and then they go over it with like a roller, so it's all packed down and it's pretty tight. But they didn't do that for the they don't do that for the sand pit. So you're walking through like loose sand and stuff like that for about a good mile, and it's like the other around the mountain where it just kind of weaves back and forth, and you're going down and up, and it's pretty steep. From there you get into the worst part of the entire ruck, which is about a 2-mile stretch where it's just straight, and it's just like open. It's like open on both sides, and so you can see forever, and it just feels like you're not moving at all. And I was just in so much pain, and I was just miserable, and I just wanted to crawl into a hole and just die. I hated myself so much at that point. My hips were hurting, my knees were hurting, my feet and ankles weren't really hurting that bad, although I think that's just because the amount of pain in my knees and my hips. Above my hips and on my shoulders, the ruck was really starting to rub, so it was just miserable. And then on top of all that, while you're marching, if you look over to your right, you can see 2 water towers, and once you pass the second water tower, it's about I'd say like a half a mile or so, 3/4 of a mile to the finish line. But they're just like off there, but they're close enough where it doesn't seem like they're that far, but they're really still like another like 4 miles away. And you're just in this big open stretch of desert, and you're just going straight, and it feels like you're not moving, and it's just terrible. But from that point, after that ends, you turn and you kind of wind your way around the on-base housing, and then go around the water towers, and then We are done with Bataan. I came in kind of late. My clock time was 9 hours and 1 minute, so it was almost 9 hours on the dot. I still don't know what my chip time is because they haven't processed all the different categories, so I'm not entirely sure as to what my time is, my official time or my rank. From there, you go and you get your ruck weighed to see how much weight you were officially carrying, and then from there, the weight that they asked that the weight that you use be rice and beans and other non-perishable goods, so that you could donate it, and that all went to the local food pantry. So that was really nice. And then they had burgers and brats and all different kinds of stuff, pulled pork sandwiches. So that was kind of nice. Not that I really cared about eating at that point. And just basically dumped my ruck, took off my boots, put on flip-flops, and hobbled over to the medic's tent so they could tape up my ankle because it hurt. And then I hobbled back over to where the rest of my group was, and someone was like, "Did you eat yet?" And I was like, "There's food," but eating wasn't necessarily my first priority. But some statistics about the ruck. As I said earlier, I think it was a marathon, so 26.2 miles through White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Desert environment. I believe that day it was above 80, which was pretty damn hot considering all of our practice rucks. I think the warmest practice ruck we had was maybe like 45 degrees. So that was a real change in temperature. Like I said, my official, or my clock time was 9 hours, almost on the dot. I was registered under military light, which means you don't have a specific weight. You can carry no weight if you want, but at a minimum you either have to have a LBV or a camelback on when you wear your uniform. It's for people in the military, obviously. But I was trying to switch over to heavy because that's what I've been training for. But it was $50 to switch from the light category to the heavy category. So I said, fuck it. So I was registered as light, but I still went heavy. We all weighed our rucks the night before the race. Mine weighed about 45 pounds, and when I crossed the finish line, it was about 40 pounds. That's because of my camelback being full at the beginning and then empty at the end. But so I rucked 26.2 miles with anywhere between 40 and 45 pounds on. So that was challenging, but it was as much as I hated myself during the ruck. Overall, it was such a fantastic experience that I'm probably going to go back and do it again next year. I really don't know why. I mean, it was awful. That was the most pain I think I've ever been in, was after that ruck. like I could barely walk. And the next day was pretty bad too. Everyone was just hobbling around everywhere. We couldn't really walk. I forgot to mention that the next day on our way back, we stopped in Amarillo, Texas, and took a couple pictures at the what's it, Cadillac Corral, I think it's called. It's where what this artist did is he took a bunch of old Cadillacs and like half buried them in the ground, so they're all like that, angled down, and there's like maybe like 12 of them or something like that they just have buried in the ground. And there's spray paint cans everywhere, and everyone spray paints on them, so we spray painted U of I Bataan Memorial Death March or something like that on them. And then we headed on over to the Big Texan Steakhouse, where we all got steaks, and they were tasty. And one kid in our group tried to do the Big Texan 72-ounce challenge, where you have an hour to eat 72-ounce steak, which is 3.5 pounds, along with a salad and a shrimp cocktail, I think it is, something like that. And you have to finish it all in an hour, and you get it for free. Otherwise it's $72, which is really crazy. That's expensive, but considering it's a 72-ounce steak, that's like $1 an ounce on the steak, and you get your sides for free, I guess. So that's not that bad of a price, I guess. But I don't know. It just seems, because I know I definitely wouldn't be able to eat it, so there's no way that I'm gonna even think about wasting $72 trying to eat it when I could happily enjoy my own nice little steak that I order for 15 bucks, you know. Looking back, I hate to admit it, but the trip on a whole was pretty damn fun. I had a pretty good time, so I think about 99% sure that I'm definitely gonna do it next year. I'm gonna go heavy again. I really enjoyed it. It was a great experience, and I encourage all of you to try it out. Like I didn't really explain it earlier, but there are both the heavy, which is 35 pounds or more, and then the light, which for military you either have to have a load-bearing vest or a camelback on, and for civilian you can just have whatever. But there's both military and civilian categories, so it's open to everybody. I believe there were about 6,000 people that did it this year, so that was pretty impressive. But yeah, great experience, lots of fun. Highly encourage all of you to do something like this at one point in your life. So yeah, that's all I got for today. That's all from me. This has been the guy in the camo hat, and I will see you all later.